So good morning everybody. Today's topic is what do I think of Vietnamese women. But before I talk about this, just let you know what's going on here. Where am I? It's actually 6:05 in the morning. I'm here on my way to Mike Beach in Da Nang. This is the way I go every morning just to work out a little bit. Basically I'm walking alongside the beach, as many Vietnamese people do at the moment. Many of them are, I believe, domestic tourists and spending now time here in Da Nang. For those of you who have traveled to Vietnam already, are familiar with the scenes which you will see shortly here also in this video. Vietnamese people are very active, especially in the morning. They love to work out, exercise. I mean, it's already bright daylight now, sun is up, and this is what the people do. They go to the beach, they go swimming, exercising. This is what you should do in the morning, right? And it's very popular here in Vietnam, especially in Da Nang, on the beach cities. And now we have to cross the road, and this is always funny. But here in Da Nang you have wide roads and there's no traffic jam or nothing. But anyway, so let's get back to the topic. What do I think of Vietnamese women? It's a good question. I like them a lot. Like basically all Asian women. I must say though that I'm of course heavily biased towards Asian women, because yeah, I've been living and working in Southeast Asia for more than I think 11 years, yeah, excluding traveling around Southeast Asian countries. So I arrived in China in 2005. This is almost 20 years ago, and that's a long time. And I remember before coming to China, I was not interested in Asian women. Not at all. They were not my taste. Then I moved to New Zealand. In 2005 I moved to New Zealand. And the place where I worked, in this 5-star hotel there, we had a lot of Chinese girls, Chinese students, you know. Auckland, the biggest city in New Zealand, is a university city, and of course, which I didn't know at the time, you have thousands of Asian tourists there, like from Indonesia, Philippines, Korea, Taiwan and stuff like that. Auckland is a very popular destination. Of course, it's a first world country, so many Southeast Asian nations are attracted to New Zealand or Australia, so they go there. Long story short, also in our hotel we had a lot of Chinese trainees and students who worked there, you know, to earn some money. And this is how I got to know them, you know. So I don't know, I got a taste. I became interested in them. And then I eventually decided to move to China. And I got a job in Beijing. And this was my first experience then. And this is how it all started. And now I'm in Vietnam, but only for traveling now. Yeah, they are great women, I think. I've dated them also. Now I'm not here for dating. I'm not interested in that, to be honest, at the moment. Because, you know, I did a video last year about my experience with dating Vietnamese women. This video is, I think, very popular. Many people like it. They also comment. Yeah, I try to to share all my experience so far up to that moment. But now I'm not dating. It's not my intention to date Vietnamese women now, because I only stay for 1 month, but also because, yeah, of the challenges and difficulties which I will talk about now, which also, yeah, has to do with what do I think about Vietnamese women. Yeah, they are beautiful, they look cute and everything like all the other Asian women, but that's not enough, right? I mean, there's a little bit more when it comes to dating or even marriage, you know. It is still my opinion that Vietnamese women are great marriage material, so to speak. Excuse my expression. But this is apparently how you say in English, right? Marriage or wife material. And many other expats say that as well. And the people, the expats, the foreigners who are married to Vietnamese women, they confirm this. And I believe it. And this is one thing you need to know when you date Vietnamese women, or you want to date. They are dating for long term. They are not into games or anything like that. They are not into fun and games. Yeah. So here you can see what's going on every morning. People have a lot of fun here. They're working out. Vietnamese women, I don't know the exact percentage, but the majority of Vietnamese women are not into fun and games when it comes to dating. They are in for the long-term game, which basically leads to marriage. So in that regards, Vietnamese women are very conservative, which also is actually a good thing, you know. I think they're even more conservative than China. I think in China, Chinese girls, they are more into fun and games. This is my experience. Vietnam is very conservative in that regards, and this is what many expats also complain about. No problem. You can move to Thailand or Cambodia or the Philippines. You can have a lot of fun there. And at the moment, that's why I'm also a little bit hesitating. I'm not into this long-term marriage game now, this thing. Not at the moment, and I don't waste my time here in Vietnam. I also don't want to play that game with these girls, you know. It wouldn't be fair, you know. That's why I'm hesitating now. And 1 month is 1 month is not much time anyway, right? I will travel. I will continue to travel around Southeast Asia in the coming weeks and months. I will visit the Philippines and other countries. Anyway, I will travel to Indonesia also, because I have a lot of friends there and have to catch up with a lot of things. So I will have a look around. And this is my current status here. Yeah, I think if you are in for the long-term game, if you want to marry a woman here, you have a very good chances. If you really want to commit to this, then I think Vietnamese women are making great wives. Definitely. This is what I hear from many people who are married to Vietnamese women. This is the opinion of other expats also, but it's also my experience. Of course, I'm not married to a Vietnamese woman, but this is the vibe you get when you are dating them, when you are together with them. Find them very responsible ladies, mature in some way, of course. They education for them is very important. They are organized, they are clean, they know what they want, they have goals. This is at least my experience of the girls I dated, the Vietnamese women. And they're pretty organized, they know what they want, they're clean. Yeah, and me as a German, I'm feeling very comfortable with this, you know. Vietnam is a relatively organized country, believe it or not. You know, I'm from Germany, and they say Germany is a very organized country. Yeah, we have organization in our blood, that's true. The Germans, you know, like maybe that has to do with the communist culture in this country, I don't know. But yeah, there are some commonalities, and when you compare Vietnam to other Southeast Asian countries, then you will know what I'm talking about. You know, you travel to the Philippines, stay there for a few weeks, and then come back to Vietnam, then you know what I'm talking about, right? And when it comes to organization and cleanliness, yeah, I'm talking here about the infrastructure and the roads. I'm not talking about women now. I'm not saying that Filipina girls are dirty. I did not say that, and I don't want to say that, and I never said that, you know. But you know, you look at the country here, you look how it looks like, you can, you know, also, you know, revert back to the people somehow, to their mindset. That's my opinion. So yeah, if you want to marry one, then you come here. I have made also other videos. A few weeks ago I had another video up talking about comparing Thai, Vietnamese and Filipina ladies. That's my opinion in this video. And another thing here which makes it also difficult for dating is the language barrier, you know. It's so, that's why I also don't date at the moment. It's always kind of the same thing, you know. Overall, dating is very time consuming, takes a lot of effort, and when you've done this many times, then it gets boring somehow also, because it's always kind of the same script, right? You get to know each other most likely online, and you talk, exchange some nice things and this and that, you know, the dating game and all that can be very time consuming, and so that's why I'm also a little bit lazy, because I know how it works. And here in Vietnam it is even slower, you know. You don't get the results you might expect. This is also one thing. Although last year when I dated my ex-girlfriend from Vietnam, she was very fast. She was moving very fast, and that was completely unexpected. I was very surprised. I was almost shocked how fast she was moving, and wanted to seal the deal, so to speak. And she was 26 years old, just for your information. Yeah, she was a young woman. But I know, of course, her motivation and her backstory. I will not talk about the story here now, but of course I understand why she was ticking that way, and I knew her motivations also. But the problem with her was also she didn't speak any English. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? And you ask me now, how did you communicate with her? Yeah, you know, Google Translate and stuff. Very funny. It's not really, it did not really work out well at the end, you know. This is one big obstacle here, the language, you know, and most of the girls really don't speak English. You have to move to Saigon most likely to find English-speaking Vietnamese girls. This is such a tremendous obstacle. Yeah? And yeah, again, if you come here for fun and games, forget about it. You might be lucky, you know, you can, I don't know, in Saigon, maybe in the big cities, you meet some curious college girls, and then you might be lucky and you get one for a one-night stand or something. It all can happen. It happened before, but it is not the majority here, and this is not the mindset of the girls. Yeah? Most of the girls I spoke with also, that they marry between, let's say, 25 and 28 years old. They're getting married. They want family, they want children. They have very traditional values, which I find actually very good, you know. That's why I'm saying, you want to get married here to a Vietnamese woman, you go ahead. Yeah, for these girls very important is their education. They put all the energy and effort into education. Dating a girl who is 20, 21, 22 in the beginning of her 20s is maybe not such a good idea, because she will not much have time for you. Also depending how old you are. You know, I'm 46 now. I don't think 25-year-old Vietnamese girls are into me. This is also one thing you need to understand here. This is different than in the Philippines. In the Philippines, another viewer, the other guy, the other day just asked me, "Hey, Marcel, tell me, I'm 70 years old. Do I have a chance to meet a decent woman in Vietnam?" I said, "I don't know, man, but probably not. You're too old." I have to say it like this. Unlike in the Philippines, you know, you can be 60, 65, you can date hot chicks, so to speak, right? But here in Vietnam, the ladies, the girl, especially the younger ones, they are not. If you are 30, 35, you might have great chance to date these women. But this is this category, you know, these girls in their 20s. But they know basically what they want. They want to have family. They want to get married. They want to have children. Before they're turning 30, the deal is sealed. They are married. And then you have the other category of women here in Vietnam, the single moms, the ones who are divorced or widowed, you know, or women which are still single, not married, no kids, which are already over 30 years old. You know how it is with these Asian women. They panic a little bit. And also in these Asian societies, the problem is that they get a lot of pressure by their families to, especially girls, you know. They have to kind of, this unwritten law or expectation that you get married as a girl, a woman, before you get 30. This is kind of I experienced this in all the countries, in Indonesia and the Philippines and in Malaysia, and here in Vietnam the same. Now when the girls are reaching this magic age of 30, then they start to panic. And women who are 35 years old in Vietnam, who are not married yet and have no children, they have it difficult. And it's even more difficult if you are 35 years old as a woman in Vietnam and you have 1 or 2 kids and you are, I don't know, divorced or widowed. No Vietnamese man wants that. This is the culture here. I'm not saying that it cannot happen, but in general, and this is also what I hear from the Philippines, and that's why you have so many single moms in the Philippines. And there's also other reason behind that, but that's why you date mostly single moms, you know. Or you're wondering why are so many single moms on these dating websites? Yeah, it's the pool to meet, to advertise themselves, right? Because they are desperate, believe me. No Filipino man wants, let's talk about the Filipino girls for a moment. No Filipino man wants them. Now the other question is, if a Filipino man would want a single mother from the Philippines, would they be interested in foreigners then? But this is a different question, because you might be wondering, oh, these Filipinas, they're all interested in me, right? Why they are interested in these expats? Yeah, there are different reasons, money and this and that, but are they really interested in you because you're so handsome and you have money? Or is it just because of the fact they cannot find a Filipino guy? Maybe they are interested in dating Filipinos first. And this is also what you have to be aware of, right? But I missed the topic. I wanted to talk about the Vietnamese, but they are in a similar situation. So these single moms here, and you find many of them online, and I'm sure they are lovely women, very nice women. So it's up to you what you want. But don't forget, also a single mother here in Vietnam with 1 or 2 kids, she will not have more than 2 kids usually. I never met a woman who has 3 or 4 kids. You can find this in the province here in Vietnam, but not in the city. Yeah, I think they are lovely women, but don't forget, they have children, and their first and foremost priority are their children. And so you need to really think carefully. If you want to date a single mom in Vietnam, what is her motivation to date you? Think about it. I will not go into much detail here. I leave it a little bit ambiguous, but you know, use your brain and think carefully. Yeah? This is something you have to consider with all Asian women, and probably with any woman you would date, right? And it's understandable. The kids are the priority. Everything else comes second and third. So don't expect too much. And it's a little bit different than in Western countries. You know, in Western countries we are taught, or we believe, that romance plays such a big part in dating. This is also fed by these Hollywood movies, you know, these movies which we all know. It's all about romance and broken hearts, and knight shining armor is coming back and saving the princess and pretty woman and blah blah blah. But here in Vietnam and Southeast Asia there are economic motivations, economic reasons which drive especially the woman. And do they really, like a single Vietnamese mother, is she really longing for romance and love? Or is she more longing for a stable, financially stable partner who has a stable income and can provide for her kids? This is the question you have to ask yourself, and this is a legitimate question. Yeah? And it's not, I'm not judging these women. It's just a fact. Because probably if I would be a mom of 2 kids, I would have the same motivations. So this is also one thing you have to consider when dating in Vietnam. This is what I think. But again, coming back to the beginning, I'm not dating now for several reasons. I'm too lazy, as I said already, because dating here in Vietnam is can be tiring. You don't get fast results, and you have to be at certain locations. I'm in Da Nang now. Yeah, you can date women here also. They're open to date Westerners. But if you want to get fast results, I think you better move to Saigon, to Ho Chi Minh City, where you have a chance of meeting girls and women who speak much better English, you know. And I will not learn Vietnamese. I stopped this. I also figured out, you know, you don't need to learn Vietnamese just to impress the woman. That's nonsense. Yeah? Of course, basic Vietnamese will help you. Buying food on the market and this and that. And also, of course, it will impress a little bit your Vietnamese date, because she sees that you're interested in the culture, you put the effort in, and this is all nice tactics, let's put it like this, to impress her. But of course, it's also practical if you speak the language, right? A little bit. But you don't need to learn Vietnamese in order to have full conversation with a woman here. This is nonsense. I tell you what, the Vietnamese women who are into Westerners or foreigners, they will learn English automatically. They will put in the effort, trust me. So you can actually lean back, relax, zip your favorite tea, coffee or whatever drink you prefer, and let it all happen. Yeah, I was doing the mistake last year. I thought, oh, I have to learn Vietnamese and this. Don't waste your time. Vietnamese is also a very difficult language. I mean, you can do it when you got married to a Vietnamese woman. Maybe then you can start thinking about learning Vietnamese, right? If you have nothing else to do. But you know, again, women who want, and you have to, you know, not every Vietnamese woman is into Westerners. You know, I hear different stories. You know, like I hear, even from Vietnamese girls, I hear, well, women, I hear the story, how many Vietnamese women like Westerners and we want to get out of the country because it's a big opportunity to leave Vietnam. You know, but why don't I see more couples in Saigon, for example, walking around, like a Vietnamese lady and an expat guy? Why? Maybe there are not so many expats around, I don't know. Who knows what's true, what's not. In general, I think Westerners or expats have a good status in Vietnam, but we should not overrate and overestimate ourselves, okay? And it's different than in the Philippines. In the Philippines, it's a different economic situation also, you know, like in Thailand. There, the women, they run after you. It's much easier to get women. It's because of economic concerns and motivations, trust me, not because you're so handsome or... Yeah. Here in Vietnam, the women and the younger girls, they take care of themselves, they study hard, they go to school, university, this, and this is their priority. You know, they have plans, they have goals, they have a vision. They are not thinking from now to noon, you know, like they have plans. So, and they know how to take care of themselves. Even the economy is still growing and the salaries are still very low, but everything is now developing and growing. But you know, maybe Vietnamese women are not so much dependent on you as you might calculate and think, you know. But actually, yeah, they are still dependent because they believe in family, which is okay, you know, husband, wife, and 1 or 2 children, which is a very normal thing to do for everybody in the entire world. Okay. And that's the point I wanted to make. I'm sure there are a couple of more things which I wanted to mention, but I forgot now. But the video is also now almost 30 minutes. I wanted to keep it actually way shorter. But anyway, so you got an idea how it looks like here. You know, you got an idea what the people are doing so early in the morning. Now it's 6:35. You see, it's like, it's busy as hell. It's like, it looks like it is 10 or 11 in the morning. So, and yeah, that's it. That's my opinion. This is what I think about Vietnamese girls. Lovely girls, great wife material for sure. But if you wanna come here for fun and games, forget it. Don't waste your time. You have to bring a lot of patience with you, and you have to have a goal. Yeah. If you come for marriage, then you stay here. Yeah. If not, don't waste your time. You can try around and play a little bit, make your own experience. Share your experience also with the other people. It's always interesting to learn. But overall, I'm not alone with my opinion, and that's why I don't date at the moment. I don't put the effort in. I know how long it can take, and I'm just lazy. I rather enjoy the beach. And trust me, this is also one thing. Never ever has, in my entire experience in Vietnam, while working in Vietnam, but also while traveling in Vietnam, never ever has a Vietnamese woman approached me directly. Yeah, this is maybe also different than in the Philippines and in Thailand. Here, forget it. The girls are very shy and very conservative. You have to be the leader. You have to make the first step. Huh? Oh, it's not like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to your comments, and I will continue now to enjoy the beach. Take care, bye bye.